Hello everybody! Today I thought I would do a very important video. So a lot of people have a lot of questions about a lot of lighters. I thought I would go over a few of the most common lighters and discuss their pros and cons. So let's start. We're going to start at the bottom, right? We're going to start where a lot of people consider to be the bottom of the heap, which is these cheap lighters. We all know what we call them, crack lighters. And you know, this one does not have a great flame on it. Some of these don't, and you can rip this plastic part off and you can raise the flame. The only problem is once you remove that, the metal is no longer protecting the flame from coming in contact with the explosive rest of this lighter. And if you buy these 100 at a time, it costs you almost nothing. You can buy it 20-30 bucks and get 100 lighters. And if you get a junky one like this that you don't like, you just throw it away and grab another one. And you get so many for such a low price, it doesn't matter. And if you lose your lighters, or if your buddies steal your lighters, this is even better reason to get a rack of these. So I have a rack on my shelf, and I keep them around just as BS lighters. You know, they're not really meant for a real job, but they get the job done most of the time. Another advantage to these lighters is they're good in the wintertime. If you're trying to use a Bic lighter or a Clipper lighter, most of the, well, I'm not totally sure about the Clippers, but I know for a fact the Bics, they will not light. They will not light in the winter. You gotta warm them up. You gotta baby them to get them going. A disadvantage to these in the opposite sense. These will explode if the ambient temperature is too high, or if you crack them, they'll leak the fluid out. I've dropped these on hot days and they've blown up on the concrete. Probably no one's gonna get hurt, but you might get hit in the eye. You gotta be smart with these. I still like these for what they are, the crack lighter. It's nice to control the flame. It's nice that they work in winter. If you're kind of person that smokes in your driveway, in your car, because you can't get away from the roommates, so they work in the car. So yeah. The next lighter is the Bic lighter. We all know it. I actually like this one because it's got this like fire department logo on it. No, I did not get this from the fire department. Good lighter. You know, these Bic lighters are kind of synonymous for a very common high quality lighter. If you were to try to rip off this metal piece, it'd be hard. These things are built to last. They're solid. The only way I've screwed up these lighters is if I get tar or something gross in the flint wheel. You can screw up the flint wheel with these, so got to be smart with that. But really, you compare the Clipper and the Bic, you're kind of getting a similar product, right? They aren't great in the cold, but they survive in the heat. They're tough in the heat. I feel like Clippers tend to blow through fuel, and they actually make a Clipper that looks like a Bic as well. And I just dropped it. But and I like some of these colors that they have. You know, I got a rack of these as well in the bedroom, and they have really good bright colors that pop. You know, I don't know about Clipper, but I know Bic makes a bunch of custom Bics you can get, which is cool. Some people like to collect them. So yeah, this it's hard to really come up with things to say about these lighters except that they're durable, reliable. Some of these will actually have a rolling tool. Some Clippers, sometimes they'll charge a little more for one with a rolling tool in it. You pull it out, it's like a stick, and you use it to roll your joints or your cigars or whatever you want to roll. So I really don't have much to say about these except that they're both very good, and I feel like these blow through fuel a lot faster than the Bic. But they have a similar flame, right? It's not a huge difference in flame. I have not adjusted the flame on either of these. I'm not sure how you could. They're both great lighters. They're both, you know, comparable lighters. But these are meant for hot weather. These are meant for cold weather. These damage easily. But they're stupid cheap, and they're great to give away to your friends or a stranger. Someone says, someone says you have a light, and if you have a pocket full of these, you can just be like, here, you can have this. And people are grateful. You know, even though the people talk all this shit about a lighter, you give someone a lighter to keep, and they're always happy to have it. So anyway, that's my lighter advice for y'all.